January 3rd, 1868. Almost a month had passed since the Shinsengumi was tasked with guarding the Fushimi magistrate. Tensions were still brewing between the shogunate and the Satsuma Choshu armies. Our enemies attempted night raids and instigated small skirmishes, doing everything they could to provoke the Shinsengumi into retaliation.
Oh,
dear God. And it seemed both sides were coming to a point. It only took one gunshot for war to break out.
that's typically how it works. Ah!
I'd heard a thunderous explosion outside, as if the sky fell and crashed onto all of Kyoto. I hope no one knew I was hurt.
What? Oh, okay. I read it that way too. It wasn't just you. I was like, wait a minute.
I hope no one I knew was hurt, including me. Please, anyone out there, stay safe. Oh. I clasped both my hands tightly and I began to pray to myself for hope.
To myself?
Yep.
You prayed to yourself? I'm my own god, bitch.
Then I felt a soft hand tap my shoulder with the tips of its fingers. Ooh,
oh,
thanks.
hey.
Does Inoue still die?
No. Inoue, don't die.
I knew that he was trying to comfort me so that I'd remain calm, but the hellish sound of gunfire from the outside without any idea of what was going on made it difficult to think about anything else.
Doesn't this worry you, Inoue? The Shinsengumi men have been fighting alongside you for years, since Edo, too.
Inoue gave me a kind smile, tilting his head slightly as he answered.
You gotta wait till the right moment to panic, and then panic away. Everyone has roles to play, but what is mine?
Inoue had a way with words that subdued my anxieties even as I grew more nauseous. I wasn't sure if it came off that way to him, but I was becoming almost sick with worry.
Thanks, Inoue. I think I understand what you mean.
Everyone had roles to play. I guess for me, that meant my role was to sit like a fucking duck. It was to treat whoever was injured in this tumultuous time. After all, I was the one who decided to stay back, so I must do everything I can to support them.
Honestly, if I don't heal at least 3 people, this wasn't worth it.
Just then.
Oh shit!
It's good to see you.
Oh shit, it's been forever. I forgot how cute you were.
Soma, who had recently joined the soldiers defending Kyoto, was nervous as he asked.
He still hurt his hand. Of course. Let's prepare our treatment stations. Can you please fetch me some water from the well?
Soma sprinted toward the well. Okay, so for now, I need to fold my clean cloths, and I need to find some needles for stitches, too. As I was making a mental list of necessary supplies...
This building just blows up.
Oh, God.
Parsley. It's the only one that I really... Oh, turnip and daikon. Okay, I recognize those two. What the heck is chickweed?
I don't know what Jersey cudweed is.
Jersey cudweed. And shepherd's purse? Interesting. We're getting so many new entries for our encyclopedia. Oh, cool. That's... yep, I could have guessed that from the context clues.
Soon after, warriors that I'd seen leave the magistrate to fight were being rushed in for treatment. From what I'd seen, the fighting must be horrible. The soldiers were covered in soot from head to toe.
Hey, is everyone safe? What? Okay,
Thanks, Saito.
thanks, cool, fine, jeez.
As Saito had ordered, I was looking after the maimed men that seemed to pour in.
Oh god. Okay, this may sting a little. Just yell back.
Luckily, many of the men I was treating didn't have life-threatening injuries. At least I could take solace in this, and I approached Nagakura to ask him something.
Any word on how the whole war thing is going?
When, lunch break is gonna be?
When's my 15? What? But...
From what Hijikata had told me, the shogunate forces were well armed and more than enough to handle the Satsuma and Choshu in Kyoto.
兵力は明らかにこっちが上なんだが、薩長側はやけに遠くまで届く新型の銃を使ってやがったな。間合いに踏み込む前に撃たれちまう。しかも連発式だから弾込めしてる隙をつくこともできやしね。
No.
I knew that despite the bad news Nagakura and Harada were sharing with me, there had to be some good news happening elsewhere from them.
There has to be some good news in here somewhere.
But even so, it seemed like the shogunate was experiencing a tougher fight than they anticipated.
苦しい状況なのは確かだが、副長がこのまま一方的に敗北を喫するとは思えぬ。だな。あの人の知恵にかけるしかねえか。とりあえず俺たちは無傷の大使を集めてもう一度撃って出る。佐野、援護してくれるか。おう、任せとけ。
The men spoke with such fearlessness as if today were just any other day. Strangely, though, it only served to worsen my anxiousness for what's to come. Afterward, Nagakura, who volunteered to lead a troop to charge straight through the enemy's front line, was growing more disenchanted. The shogunate army had 15,000 men. The Satsuma Choshu had less than a third of that, and yet the momentum seemed to be on their side. As the war continued, it wasn't only the Fushimi magistrate that was experiencing harsh fighting. Based on the reports piling in from the fronts, the shogunate and Satsuma Choshu troops were clashing everywhere men were stationed. This included the Yugeki unit with whom Iba was affiliated around the Yodo domain. I could only imagine where the man who lamented the very idea of war coming to fruition could be at a time as frustrating as this. Was he away from the fighting? Was he hurt at all?
But please stay safe.
The scent of gunpowder stung my nostrils, and I watched the sky darken above. 2 days had passed since the fighting broke out. January 5th, 1868.
Oh.
These gunshots are terrible.
Ah!
The frequency of the cannon fire confused me as to whether they were approaching us or if they were celebrating their victory prematurely.
What?
All I knew was the cannon fire became non-stop. Several warriors lying injured in bed jumped from the frightening sound.
What the hell was that? Don't tell me the building's coming down. Ah! It's alright, everyone. There's no need to worry. So please just rest.
I had made attempts to comfort the warriors as they began to panic, but then...
Ah!
It sounded like the cannons were cracking into the building directly, bursting through the walls.
Oh.
And then they did.
Beep, beep, beep.
Ah! Cannon fire was crumbling the roof above, and in that moment, I prepared for it to crash on top of me and kill me. But then,
大丈夫か
Hey, Skate, buddy.
I heard a familiar voice. I love how no one will know this man's about. Like, nothing about him. Just us being like, hey,
I was both being like, that's my best friend. Hey, Skate. Oh, fuck, Son's here too.
It must have been because the sun was rising, but the two had returned from their night raid.
So, how is it out there? How you doing, Hey, Skate? Bro, we gotta catch up, man.
Sunon's brow furrowed, silently shaking his head.
夜の闇に紛れて大砲を狙い
Did I ask
一定の
you?
戦果を上げることはできたのですが
羅刹隊の人数は限られてるからな。俺たちだけで戦況を覆すのはちょっと無理だ。
Oh no.
If our captain's swordsmanship and our fury corps combined weren't enough, then
ここまでです
Shut up, bad man.
as Sanon muttered his cynical musing to himself, cannon fire rang in the background. Suddenly,
What?
insane footsteps.
That was truly a speed that no human would be able to perceive. Hijikata, you know way.
あんたがこいつをかばってくれたのか感謝するぜ
Don't think Sanan. Heisuke did all the work.
Hijikata nodded his head to the two men, and Sanon remained stoic, offering no greeting.
What a
Bitch.
piece of shit. Won't even greet your fucking captain anymore.
Ungrateful.
口惜しいですがもはや体制は決しました
Then go die.
我が羅刹隊は敵を圧倒していますがそれでもここまで周囲に押し込まれていては意味がない
Hijikata bit his lip, balling his hand into a tight fist as his comrade shared his opinion. Hijikata's display made each of us aware just how frustrated, how hurt he must have been. In the past, Hijikata always seemed 2 steps ahead of the battlefield. On the battlefield, with his courageousness and his intelligence. But damn, seeing him even entertain the idea of defeat seemed like something that was impossible for a man of Hijikata's experience to swallow. Eventually,
俺一人ならどんな目に遭わされようと最後の最後まで戦う
Excuse me, I'm gonna need that gur at the beginning, sir. Sir, can you just go back and do that gur? Hey, wait a minute.
やむを得ねえか
the words seemed to cause him pain as they left his mouth, and he turned to face the captains.
全軍撤退だ三男さん平助しんがりとして援護を頼めるか心得ていますとも
おう、任せてくれって。
I couldn't just sit and listen to them as they prepared to move into action.
Is there anything I can do to help?
Hijikata shot me one of his glances that seemed to indicate to me that he was annoyed.
The only glances that he sends at me. What?
Sanan, on the other hand, paused for a moment before answering my question.
No, not you.
では雪村君
Nope,
君に一つ頼みたいことがあります
I refuse.
我々羅刹隊はこれより全員出撃して敵を食い止めることになりますがその隙に羅刹について記した資料を井上さんと共に大坂城まで運んでほしいのです
I have to keep your secret. No
Right?
thanks.
I'll do it for Heisuke, but for you, I'm gonna make sure to just leave the papers that mention you. You're welcome. You're welcome, Sanan. I did it for you. About the furries?
これまで多くの犠牲を払い改良を繰り返してきた羅刹の資料そして何より落ち水が敵側に渡ると厄介なことになります
I gulped at the thought. I had many horrible feelings toward the serum brought into the Shinsengumi by my father.
Fine. I'll do it for Heisuke. I'll protect them with my whole fucking life.
頼みましたよ。持ち出すことが難しいもの。後に代用が効くものはここで焼き捨てます。
Wait, just burn the whole building down then. What do we need to save?
君と井上さんに託すのは落ち水そのものや材料、そして最低限の書類の
We
みです。
can throw that away.
Sunnon was communicating to me that there could be no mistakes. This was irreplaceable. My legs began trembling as I'd begun to consider the burden of responsibility Sunnon placed on me. I looked Sunnon straight in the face, punched him.
Yes,
I
that's
nodded.
what I was thinking too. Punch that bitch straight in the face. You got it.
ではどうぞこちらへ。建物が崩れる前に渡しておかなくては。
Can I follow Heisuke instead?
We walked down the hallway, walls rumbling from the cannon fire, and Sunnon handed me the documents before Inoue and I left for Osaka. The amber sun was setting from the smoky sky. Since we'd been retreating with many injured Shinsengumi warriors in tow, it was difficult to move quickly, and we pressed that time, flat like a pancake.
You know what? Do you think everyone else made it out safely?
心配はいらないさ。大坂城へ着けば、彼らとは必ず合流できるんだからね。
You know what? Honestly, you're the one I'm most worried about.
おととい、伏見奉行所で言ったことを忘れたわけじゃないだろう。
No, I haven't.
Everyone has their role. So no matter what, all I could do was be patient and prevent myself from acting rashly.
日が沈めば、銃で狙いをつけるのは難しくなる。もう少しの辛抱だよ。
You know what? Why would you say that?
Walking on unpaved roads, I nodded to Inoue. Just then,
Whoop, there it is.
murder. The echo of nearby gunshots startled me, and I gulped. Inoue ducked down, hiding behind a tree to get a better view of our surroundings.
あの着物は、薩長の軍勢のようだね。
Sacho is such a better abbreviation. Why aren't we using that?
Oh my god, literally!
That must be the differentiation, but of why they do that. Like when they do that hyphenated version, it must be because in the actual Japanese, it's just Sacho.
Motherfuckers.
Yet again, we've been fucking shafted.
His confirmation made me grip the bandana on my waist tightly. Yes, the bandana.
What? I mean, yeah, that's what it says, but...
Don't know why it's there. My hair stood from fear. Haruda had mentioned how these new guns could fire from an even further distance than usual. If we're caught, we're fucking dead.
彼らに気づかれないよう、やり過ごすしかなさそうだ。
Right.
Inoue whispered softly, and we hid in the shady bushes as we waited for the men to pass.
You know what? Where are we?
As he left the main road to hide from the enemy patrol, Inoue and I had found ourselves separated from the rest of our convoy.
Oh, okay, there was the rest of a convoy with us. I was like, is this just us traveling?
During our initial escape, a warrior had told us that the other domains were joining the war. But why did we just leave the entire... Did we leave the rest of the group just walk into the fucking Sacho, man?
Right, I mean, I imagine that we got separated when we tried to hide. But, like, did they just leave without us? Like, what?
Domains that had previously declared neutrality were now siding with the Sacho to kill off any shogunate men, including leadership.
おそらく 淀のあたりに近づいているのは確かだと思うが。
Yodo.
My bad.
It's okay.
If I remembered correctly, Iba's Yugeki unit was close by. Was Iba still safe? Just then,
誰かがこちらへ近づいてくるぞ。雪村君、隠れて。
What?
I hid in the shadows just as Inoue had commanded me to.
Did he
A
not
few
also
moments
hide?
later, I heard the tap. What?
Did Inoue not also hide? They made it sound like he just pushed us into a bush and he's just standing out there.
I heard the tap of footsteps and a shadow soon followed after. Who could it be?
That cheekbone.
That baldness. From what I could make out, it looked like a monk, or could it be a doctor? But what would they be doing out here?
What if it's our dad?
That would be so awkward.
That would be so awkward.
As the shadow drew closer, the person's features became a little clearer. Then I gasped.
That's my dad!
Ew.
Oh my god, shut the fuck up.
No way!
Papa?
As the word left my mouth, I froze, watching in disbelief to what was happening before me. Hey, don't kill Inoue, dude.
Oh my god, if it's
stood
him.
Papa! Whom I had been searching for all this time. Kodo Yukimura. Motherfucker. As he heard my voice, father slowly turned around.
Oh, that's right.
Doesn't
Wait, was
have
it
a
who was
voice.
it? Was it you voicing him?
I don't remember. I mean, I can go for it.
Okay.
That voice!
Oh
that you,
no, why is
Haruhi?
our father Mickey Mouse? Oh no, what changed? Actually, you know, this works better because see, he used to have a voice and now he's changed.
No, I can do it.
He's
I
a
can do
bad
this.
person.
How do I do this though?
Do what?
I'm trying to make him like frail sounding.
I mean, if
An
I
old
remember
man.
correctly though, the way you did it the first time was just like, oh,
That
like that.
voice. No, is that you, Haruhi? Are you there, child?
No.
Fuck. I longed to hear his familiar voice for so long that I almost cried.
You know, would it be alright if I showed myself to my papa?
We already fucking shouted. I turned to Inoue, asking for permission despite the possible threat of enemies nearby.
Despite the threat that my father is an enemy.
However, Inoue's eyes thinned as if he were still suspicious, but then...
無事な姿を見せてあげたまえ。
You know, if
Also,
this
we'll just
costs you
heal.
your life, I'm so sorry.
You stay down, Inoue. He kindly obliged me, bowing his head. I nodded back to Inoue, sharing with him a momentary grin before I walked out of the bushes.
Papa? Is that really you?
At long last, it was him! I was flushed with so much emotion that it made me lightheaded. Father smiled brightly, and it seemed like he almost choked up as he greeted me. Ah, it's been a long time, Haruhi. My, how beautiful you've become. The only response I could muster was the slow shake of my head. Words struggled to come out. At some point, I honestly started to believe that I would never see him again. But there he was, right in front of me, and the first thing he mentions is my looks. Weird. Looking as healthy as I wished he would be. That man! No!
No!
That man! I don't know. You were with over there. Inoue from the Shinsengumi, yes? Thank you for guiding my daughter all the way here.
いや、礼には及びません。
No, Inoue, please. Cover.
Huh.
Inoue also seemed relatively happy to see that I was reunited with my father.
But what the heck are you doing here? Where were you all this time, you bitch?
Father's expression became glum. His eyes tenderly gazed into mine. Don't do that. It was my fault for not sending you a letter after all this time. You see, I was taken captive to some place far, far away.
That smells like some bullshit, Papa. Taken captive, huh?
The horrible image of someone taking my father as a prisoner made me flinch. The farther apart these lines are, the less good fucking...
What?
What's the word? The less continuity this voice is gonna have, guys.
Oh.
But father continued on, describing his journey without going into great detail.
I can take over his lines if you need me to, my
It's
guy. You're
okay.
already reading a lot.
I need to push through.
Okay.
Become a stronger man. I had heard that you were being held captive by the Shinsengumi Haruhi. I have come in search of you, my child.
Please don't kill the Shinsengumi, Papa.
I was so worried. What if you were caught up in all this needless violence and someone were to hurt you?
Papa.
As he recounted his story, I could feel the anguish he must have been experiencing. I felt no empathy. Didn't want him to worry anymore. There was so much I needed to ask him, so much I've been wondering all this time.
Now, Papa, let's go to Yodo Castle. The Shinsengumi has been there, and I'm sure that they'll keep us safe from the Sacho troops.
In response, however, my father shook his head slowly. Unfortunately, I have no intention of going to
Fucking knew
Yodo
it.
Castle. Actually, you won't be going either. Oh, they're taking the guilt trip method this time.
Unfucking-believable. Papa? Papa!
What father said had seemed a little strange, and his tone became stern, confusing me somewhat. If he were an ally of the Shinsengumi, surely he would seek to rejoin them or contact the Tokugawa clan for aid.
It's been a while, and I forgot how fucking stupid we are.
So why? Then it hit me. Father had said he was taken captive to someplace far, far away. So how did he have any idea that I had been staying with the Shinsengumi all this time? The pieces weren't adding up, and the sense of unease worried me so much I began to back away.
I'm amazed we put that much together.
今の言葉は一体どういう意味ですかな?
You know, I run.
You know,
No.
he stepped in front of me. No, babe.
No.
Guarding me as he seemed to pick up on the inexplicable strangeness.
What a piece of shit.
Then
What a
father's tone became
fucking-
completely cold, one which was completely alien to me. Do I have to spell it out for you? I'm telling you that I refuse to let my daughter return to the Shinsengumi. A haunting chill crept down my spine. I couldn't put my finger on it, but it was there. This wasn't the father I knew. Just then. I sensed someone was standing behind me.
Who the
As
hell?
I turned around, I saw...
What the fucking Takeda? What if we don't have the demons aren't even the like final big bad in this route? It's just these motherfuckers.
Unbelievable.
Oh my fucking god. You!
It was Takeda, the Shinsengumi's former captain of the 5th Division. Somehow, alive. Inoue's eyes widened incredulously at the sight.
He's got a fucking claw on that arm now. What
Huh.
even is that? Weird.
I don't want to
武田
know.
君、 あんたは切られて死んだと聞かされていたのに、生きていたのか。
It wasn't just
Y'all
a
knew he
stab
wasn't gonna
wound.
die.
It wasn't just a stab wound, though. He lost a whole arm and lost a shit ton of blood and then was swept down river. In these times, there's no way you live after that.
生きてい
If
た
our
んだ。
father fucking saved him.
そこにいるジジイに
God
助けられて
fucking
God
damn
fucking-
it.
なんだって。
You cut out. What do you say?
Save this fucker's life.
Oh no. Oh no, I think my internet's dying a tiny bit.
Huh?
My internet, I think, was dying a tiny bit because you went all robot-y.
Oh no.
Well, I guess if it's my internet, it's our internet.
Ow. A man who called me a monster, who threatened to reveal all the Shinsengumi's secrets, was working with my papa. He must have been the one who had informed my papa of my involvement with the Shinsengumi.
Oh, this
Oh, look at that
bitch.
stupid face.
His face is the worst.
As I attempted to make sense of all this information, Father seemed ambivalent to my reaction, smiling straight at me. Then he reached his hand out to me, the same hands that used to comfort me as a child.
Gross.
No! Oh, no! Oh,
He has to work. Canonically, he has to work really hard for it to lower his voice to be taken seriously.
It's time for you to come with me, Haruhi. Nothing can hold you back now. I couldn't bring myself to accept his hand as easily as I would have in the past.
雪村君、行動さんは信用できない。
Hell fucking no.
Inoue whispered discreetly to me.
That's a no.
Before-
Sorry.
It's okay. Before I left for Kyoto, and before I had met everyone in the Shinsengumi, taking Father's hand wouldn't have required a second thought. However, I was far too bothered by something to not be suspicious by all of this. More than anything, too, Sannan, Heisuke, Hijikata, and the rest of the Shinsengumi had placed their faith in me.
As it stands, I trust in the men of the Shinsengumi far more than I trust my papa.
Inoue's eyes. Wait, nope, he just smiled.
His eyes smiled.
Kindly to my response, and then it was in that moment that I'd made up my mind.
そうか。ありがとう。
Oh no, please don't die right after you say that.
Right? Oh god. Then he reached his hand to grip the sword on his waist, unsheathing it in a quick movement.
ここは私が引き受けよう。君は先を
No.
出せ。
No, please, Papa. I mean,
You know, it's our new papa.
yep, he's a father figure. His words slunk heavily as if there was some finality to them, and it made me nervous. It was as if he didn't expect to come back with me eventually.
No. You know it? You know it?
I anxiously called out to him, my voice shaky, but he looked at me with tired eyes, grinning once more.
Oh no, how long have we been on the road without rest?
大丈夫。私はこれでも新選組の組長だよ。時間を稼いだらすぐに後を追うさ。
You know what? You're killing
ここから
me.
一番近くにいるのは淀方面で戦っている遊撃隊だ。そこまで逃げれば伊庭君がいるはずだよ。
I gasped.
What?
絶対に
Oh, we did promise to run away.
危険だと思ったらどんな手を使ってでも逃げて頼みてください。
At the cost of Inoue's life, Iba?
じゃなかった
Yeah, but you don't understand. I accidentally called him Papa. I can't leave him.
結末にはしない
We've had too many
約束してください。
fucking lives with this man protecting us and dying?
Right.
I made a promise to Iba. A promise that he wouldn't have to regret his trust.
さあ行 きたまえ。君は君の務めを果たしなさい。
I understand. Love you, we know it.
There was no way I could be okay with abandoning Inoue, but... Sorry. If I wish to
It's
fulfill
okay.
my duties for the Shinsengumi and honor the trust literally everyone but Sanan placed in me, this was the only choice I had.
Understood.
I couldn't even look at Inoue in the face as I answered him, so I kept my head facing the ground. However, I kept myself from crying as I continued to speak.
いい子だ。君に危ない真似はさせられんよ。もし君をここで死なせてしまったら、伊庭君にどれだけ恨まれるかわからない。
Oh, fuck, you're right. I knew that Inoue had said so jokingly, but the unspoken alternative made me want to cry. There were simply no words to say in return. Inoue had pointed the tip of his katana toward Takeda and my father.
行きなさい、雪村君。
I have to say something. I began to realize that this could be the very last time I see Inoue for as long as either of us live. I had opened my mouth and it was agape. I struggled to find anything meaningful to say. Then Inoue screamed at me, turning the pit of my stomach inside out.
行けと言っているだろう。
I shut my eyes tightly and I turned around to run away.
No.
Then,
Promise me that we'll be back in Osaka Castle. I'll be waiting.
with that, I'd broken into a sprint away from them. Inoue told me the other day that everyone has their role to play in times of war, but we couldn't afford to be impatient. Now I think I finally hit the time Inoue had been talking about. There was no reason for people to die needlessly when they still have a purpose to serve. Under the blood-red sky, I repeated this sentiment over and over again to push myself, one leg after the other, through the mountainous path.
This is the worst.
イサミさん。
Oh no.
さん私にも今ならよくわかるよ。こうして誰かのために体を張る。これも一つの。
Y'all really have to hurt me like
Can't
this.
believe you're giving us his final moments.
This is so cruel of you. Okay, that's
Oh,
it.
fuck
Oh,
off.
thank God.
I flung my legs against cold, arduous ground, running until I felt like my lungs could burst. Then the echo of footsteps alerted me from the distance, and I rushed to hide in the bushes. I poked my head out from behind the bush to get a closer look, and I saw enemy soldiers in a group. Had the enemies followed us all the way out here?
Huh? Oh. What's the matter? Oh.
Wait, both of them. I thought I heard something. Oh, maybe it was just my imagination.
Bet you it's just some animal or something.
Yeah, you're probably right.
Oh,
Oh, the enemy soldiers spoke casually amongst themselves as they hiked down the trailway.
perfect.
I felt a great sense of relief as their footsteps grew further away, and I exhaled greatly. That would have been just us laughing the rest of the stream.
Right?
Suddenly, I was struck with the memory of moments I shared tenderly with Iba.
Oh.
Again.
何かあれば手紙で知らせてくださいね。
Girl, are you gonna send him a letter from the fucking middle of the forest? Cause I hate to break it to you, but there's no one to deliver that letter
Are you
except
gonna
for
ask
you.
the enemy forces to deliver it?
They're like, some girl told me to give this to you, but also I'm here to kill you, so.
今の状況を考えると難しいかもしれませんが。
What
Such fond memories.
そうそうきっとあなたを一生後悔させてしまうことになる。
Iba.
Iba had always shown me tremendous kindness, and he seemed to want what was best for me. If he were somewhere nearby, I could really use him in a time like this. However, expecting to find him at the moment felt like such a tough endeavor. So rather than lingering on that, I need to focus on getting these documents to Osaka Castle without letting anyone catch me beforehand. I mustered all my power and started running again.